Right now, a weather watch alert. A powerful nor'easter headed for New England tomorrow night. It means heavy wet snow in parts of the state and heavy rain in others. We'll detail it all and the latest totals ahead.
And with that weather headed our way, what is the state doing to prepare for the worst? And a deadly shooting in the capital city. The victim finally identified tonight. The latest on the hunt for a suspect.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a weather watch alert.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Carmen Chow. We begin with a weather watch alert tonight. We had a dry and pleasant day today, but a major nor'easter is headed our way late Monday into Tuesday. Let's get right over to meteorologist Ryan Breton. Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Carmen. Hi, everybody. Like many storms we have here in Connecticut, this will depend on where you are. It is going to be a hit, but the question is what type of precipitation. And unless you're in the hills, there will be quite a bit of rain before a changeover to snow happens during the day on Tuesday. Pretty clear the jackpot out of the storm will be in the northwest hills, and that's where the biggest impact will be. Because of the weight of the wet, heavy snow, there may be some power outages, while along the shoreline we'll have heavy rain, gusty winds, and some minor coastal flooding early Tuesday morning as well. A winter storm warning is up for northern Litchfield County. Again, that's likely where the jackpot will be, but several other areas, including Hartford, Waterbury, under a winter storm watch for the potential for 6 inches or more of snow as this storm takes shape. Right now, we just have some clouds out there, maybe a sprinkle or flurry overnight, but the two pieces that will come together to form our storm, one here, another here, will all come together offshore tomorrow night. Before the day tomorrow, just a few showers in the morning. Rain will be developing in the afternoon, turning into a heavier rain tomorrow night, but really no issues for travel in the morning or in the afternoon tomorrow. Whatever we have during the day will be fairly light and mainly in the form of rain. But look at what happens tomorrow night. The rain changes to snow first in the hills, and then eventually a change over to snow may happen farther south Tuesday morning. It is a very tricky forecast, especially in Hartford South, and it's because we're timing the change from heavy rain to heavy wet snow. But once you get up in elevation, it won't take much to get several inches, likely more than a foot of snow in the northwest hills. We'll take a closer look at this snow map, the hour-by-hour timeline, and talk about the potential power outages too, all coming up.
All right, Ryan, preparations are beginning for tomorrow night's storm. Both the Department of Transportation and utility companies are planning for the storm. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us live in studio with how they're preparing to respond. Jake?
Well, Carmen, both road and power crews are getting ready for our first major storm of the season, hoping to keep the roads clear and the lights on.
We're the best at clearing the roads in Connecticut.
Plans now in motion as preparations for this week's winter storm will begin Monday.
We'll be out there and we'll scrape those roads. We'll take care of it, make sure that it's clear for people who need to be out on those roads Monday night and Tuesday.
The Connecticut Department of Transportation giving crews the weekend to rest.
Because once they come in tomorrow, they're not going to be back home to their families until, maybe 48 hours after that, given the duration of the storm.
Crews will spend Monday afternoon getting the equipment ready, and just a few hours before the rain and snow begins, they'll hit the road.
If you are out there and you see our crews working, stay back 300 feet, slow down, give yourself extra time. Don't crowd our plows. Don't try to speed past the plow. That's just going to create an unsafe situation for you and everybody else who's out there.
Eversource also preparing for the storm.
So crews are going to be pre-positioned at our work centers around the state before the storm hits to make sure that we are ready to respond as quickly and as safely as possible to whatever the storm may bring.
Heavy snow and wind and falling trees causing concern for power outages.
We have brought in hundreds of additional tree and line crews from as far away as Missouri to Texas in order to assist with restoring power to customers.
Now, Eversource says if you see a down power line, stay a good distance away and report it to 911. Tonight at 11, we'll tell you what you should have ready in case of an extended power outage. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. And now to a deadly shooting in Hamden. Police say 39-year-old Anthony Pearson was found shot on Connolly Parkway around 11 last night. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police believe it was a family dispute during a party at the Wilbur Cross Commons building. No arrest has been made yet, but they are also not looking for a suspect since everyone remained on scene. Now, still developing tonight, a deadly shooting in Hartford. Police responding to this area near the intersection of Albany Avenue and Oakland Terrace around 3 a.m. When officers arrived, they found 52-year-old Uriah Alexander with multiple gunshot wounds. Right now, police are still looking for a suspect as this investigation continues.
It's a very active investigation. You see crime scene behind me. They're processing the scene. MCD's here. They've been doing canvases. They're looking for witnesses. We have a tip line if anybody saw or knows what happened.
Now, anyone with information should contact the Hartford Police Department. Staying at Hartford, 8 people are displaced after an overnight fire. This happening at an apartment complex on Farmington Avenue. Firefighters say they arrived to the building and discovered the fire in a stairwell on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the building. The fire was quickly knocked out with no injuries to residents or firefighters, but 2 apartments cannot be lived in. The Red Cross is providing help to those 2 families, which are 3 adults and 5 children. A skier is in the ICU tonight after getting into a bad crash at Copper Mountain. Her friends tell us most of her body is now paralyzed. Anna Berman is from Germany, but she goes to school at Sacred Heart University in Connecticut, where she plays field hockey. Last week, she came to Colorado with her friends Kenzie and Allie for a spring break ski trip at Copper Mountain. Her friends say Anna hit a tree, had to be flown to the hospital, and got emergency spine surgery.
It's been difficult, just considering how capable she was of doing everything else on her own. She's a very independent person, and she's a D1 athlete. So as soon as we kind of learned the severity of the situation with her spinal cord injury, we realized that it was going to cost a lot of money, especially because she's an international student.
Now, Kenzie set up a GoFundMe account to raise money for the costs associated with Anna's recovery, but then something weird happened. Her friends say they got a lot of support, but are now battling misinformation on the internet claiming Anna has died.
Why would somebody say something like that? Like, we're just trying to help somebody get through such a horrible injury that most people never even have to deal with or think about it. Anna is alive, and she's working through her recovery. We're extremely grateful, and her family's extremely grateful for all the support that we've received.
Her friends have raised more than $170,000 so far. If you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website. Tomorrow, a big announcement we've been following for a few days now. President Biden is announcing a big military contract from Australia that will have a huge impact on the economy here in Connecticut. European sources say Australia will buy nuclear-powered attack submarines. As many as 5 of those vessels are expected to be built at EB in Groton at a cost of $3 billion each. Connecticut's U.S. representative for the eastern part of the state, Joe Courtney, said this purchase will bring a huge source of economic stability to the area.
This, again, means really decades of stability and further growth than what we've already seen, which is very significant.
The buy is part of Australia's growing concerns about China's influence in that part of the world. Courtney says the production of the subs could span the next 2 decades, but ahead of the expected contract, EB is hiring thousands to help with the big order. And this week, the owner and employee of a construction company are due back in court after being accused of causing the death of a worker in a trench collapse last year. Dennis Botticello and an employee, Glenn Locke, are facing manslaughter charges in the death of Dennis Slater. Slater died at a construction site in Vernon back in July. The sides of a dirt trench collapsed on him at Laurel Woods Farms.
It wasn't just an accident. This could have been prevented. This hole was nearly, quite long. And they failed to have any trench boxes. We're very careless in their actions, and somebody died as a result of this.
Local, state, and federal investigators were involved in the case. The 2 are set to be arraigned on manslaughter and reckless endangerment charges on Tuesday.